I'm going to ask you silly questions because we're all my listeners are watchers are all geeks. So from the geek side, Inspector Spacetime seems very reminiscent of Doctor Who to me.
What?
And I was just wondering how big of a geek you guys are and how much do you love Doctor Who?
I don't love Doctor Who half as much as my sometime collaborator Rob Schraub, my best friend, who grew up watching it on BBC or on PBS, I suppose, and he's obsessed with that show. He knows everything about it, and it's really sort of listening to him talk about Doctor Who that made me want to. When I decided for the third season, based on the positive results with the Cougar Town kind of mythology in Abed's life, I thought, well, what if we can create our own thing that's be like an Itchy and Scratchy for Troy and Abed? It'll probably make a handy story tool, and let's see how it develops. Originally, the idea actually was that we would say something about Inspector Spacetime, and the audience online would say, "Oh yeah," and then this, and then we would go, "Yep, yeah," like an improvised storytelling thing where we take like things that they come up with, and if someone writes the theme song for Inspector Spacetime, then we take it and use it in our show, and people go, "Holy crap!" And we just build and build. But that became legally not doable. The biggest problem is that people tend to just take Doctor Who and remove it by one. They go, "Oh, there was a cat robot in the third season whose name was Feline," and you just go, "That's obviously Doctor Who ripoff, and we're going to get sued." That's what's that, you know. So we can't just. But the other problem is just that even we are getting yelled at now. Like it seemed like a one-off, and then as we continued to do it, there's a guy at a desk at Sony who has to watch every episode of Doctor Who and know everything about it. And so I want to make a movie about this guy who had to one day learn what Doctor Who was and watch every minute of it and become an expert on it beyond any nerd at any convention, so that he could always say to us in an email, you have to change that.
That is kind of awesome. Is there any other kind of sci-fi thing that you are kind of a geek about that you'd like to put in the show?
I mean, I'm a huge I don't know if it counts as sci-fi or if it's. I mean, I like RoboCop. I'm obsessed with. You've already seen me do a little bit of RoboCop homage in terms of how Abed looks at the world. But I love that myth. I wish there was a way to somehow do like a RoboCop thing. It feels like Macbeth to me, like he or Frankenstein, but an even cooler version of it. And I don't know. What am I a total geek about? I love the original Star Trek series. Probably not as much as Ben Stiller. I couldn't beat him in a trivia contest, but I mean, just creatively, I love that show. I've seen every episode 3 times, and I often take lessons that I learned from watching that show about what makes a good TV show. That and Gilligan's Island, is what Community sort of borrows very heavily from in terms of building an ensemble.
Can you pitch the show to our listeners? Because I've been trying to tell them to watch this show, and I've figured maybe you could do a better job at telling them.
Don't listen to her. You should watch Fringe. It's all right. No, it's it's a show about a bunch of knuckleheads at a community college. But here's the twist: the writers stay up till 4 a.m. working on it every night. So and they're all nerds. So it's a show that's glad you're watching it, and it'll never punish you for watching it if it can possibly help it. Quality is job 1 at Old Community Core. Be there. Also, it'll be gone any minute. What do you better watch it. What about your grandma you never said you loved? Remember how that bummed you out? You're all messed up, aren't you? Because you never said I love you, Grandma. Get to this show and hold its papery hand and listen to those beeps turn into a flat line. Well, you still can. And then write a poem about it. You dumb art student.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, I started talking to an ex-girlfriend.